Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. In the last episode, we were introduced to the Warden of Terra Flora, the Queen Bee herself, literally named Bee. Although her ever-blooming planets and its floral bouquet business aren't doing so well due to Cursa's dark mess destruction, she seems to be in somewhat of a good mood, all things considered, having quite high hopes for us on our mission to clean up and fix up the Wiggler Express Railway, and hopefully in turn find a way to unclog Mount Spouts to bring some much needed rainwater back to the world of Terra Flora before, let's be honest, before it all withers away. Since, let's be honest here, if plants don't get water for a very long time, they're definitely not going to be doing too hot. But, for the most part, we definitely have gotten quite a decent amount done already. And 10 of the planet coins already collected, which is pretty good. Since, let's be honest here, that's pretty good, honestly. But I thought we should start off with a nice little side quest for today. And then we'll go straight into our very first Dark Mess Tentacle right afterwards. Since I'm pretty sure that train is going to be taking us right to our very first one. Since, let's be honest here, the train track is definitely heading straight towards one, to be completely fair. But, honestly, let's do this. The Sluggish and the Puckish. Pretty interesting name. But, here we go. An analysis of this dark mess puddle reveals a lot of frantic activity within. Frantic activity, you say? Hey, your infectious lethargy would make you an ideal candidate to calm the energy down a little, no?
Fine. Can I come? I can bump people out. I can't bump people out, but I can hit multiple targets with my disruptor because of my hyperactivity.
Okay, well, you can definitely try, Mr. Rabbid Luigi. You can definitely try, buddy. But here we go. Good old the Sluggish and the Puckish. Although I'm not really seeing any dark mess, but I am seeing 20 enemies on map. Jeez, okay. That's definitely, kinda terrifying. I will say that. Sparks, though. I think we should probably swap on the ones from Bowser for the time being, I think. Because I feel like, it might come in handy here. Maybe. Or, actually, you know what? We could probably swap in Vamp Dash and good old Turbocharge here. Maybe. Actually, no wait. Actually, I think there's a better way of doing this. I think maybe what we should do is along the lines of maybe Ethering and then going with Turbocharge, because Rabbid Luigi, well, let's be honest here, might need to be a little bit more careful here. 20 enemies, though, that's quite a lot of them. But I think we should be fine. I guess we'll find out here. We get a Spark gift. Ooh, thanks, that's actually pretty nice. We got a 25% chance to get a random item, and we got one right off the bat. That's pretty cool. But, let's see here. We only have the Squashette behind us for the most part. So I think we can definitely go Turbocharge here to start. The thing is with Rabbid Luigi and Rosalina, both can increase damage on enemy targets as long as their status abilities are on top of an enemy. So, in essence, we can probably do some pretty interesting stuff as long as we do it right. Only thing is we might need to be very careful here with our throws and stuff like that, because it looks like what we need to do is bounce it off of barrels, from what I can see, for when it comes to Rabbid Luigi here. Only thing is that's easier said than done. But, for the most part, it's not too terribly difficult, I would think. Just because, as long as we do things right, we should be perfectly fine. Also, this enemy has barely any HP. That's a free knockout for us. I'm gonna definitely take that. There's no reason not to. Okay, well, first things first is I see the ability of jumping off this panel here. And there is a couple options once we do go up here. Because I think probably starting from the top area might be the safest option, because most of the enemies are down there. So staying away from those enemies might be smart. Although it looks like we're definitely going to need to use good old Rabbid Luigi to get up here, for Rosalina at least. So that's a good start. It's definitely not a bad start. I'm going to send in the Wild Claw, I think, but we should probably back up just a slight bit, so we don't get hit by that barrel. Because Wild Claw is more than likely going to trigger that barrel on in a second here. But if it doesn't, not bad. That's not too bad. We can work with that. And then obviously, let's see here. How do we want to do this? I'm going to say definitely going up here is probably a start. I'm going to say, well, apparently our Wild Claw actually blocks my jump, which is interesting. Okay, well, we can do that. It's not too bad. It gets rid of 2 enemies. We do get hit a little bit. But for the most part, that's not the worst possible scenario, to be completely fair. Although, is that really how we want to do this? Because we might want to do this differently. But I think this is probably not too bad, honestly. It could be much worse. We could do something along the lines of that too, but I think we should probably leave that that barrel over there. Obviously, we're going to get shocked quite heavily, but I don't think that's too bad, honestly. Because now those enemies are down. That guy's still up. So as long as we move into a safe zone like here, although that guy's still down there, which I'm not very happy about because I don't want him blasting at me. But I think we might be able to. It does say that we do knock him out. So I think we just try and blast through his cover and just get him here. And get him out of here before he does start blasting us. Okay, that's not too bad. 5 enemies down immediately. We have a Wild Claw in front of us. Of course, Mr. Squasher is going for us. And I thought that was a Squashette, but that's actually a Squasher. That's interesting. Huh. Well, poor Wild Claw got bounced into next week. Definitely not having an easy time for him. Also, Rosalina kind of got moved way too far. Yeah, this map's looking like it's going to be a little bit tougher than I realized. Although I do think we got pushed out of range for the most part. So it's not too bad. Although, 20 enemies and, let's be honest here, we've definitely taken quite a beating already. Okay, well, thankfully we do have a way of healing ourselves, so we're not in, like, a really, really bad situation. Although I do think, we need to be very careful here in the next few seconds. But I think we should be fine. I do think we should lifesteal, though, if we do want to survive, for sure. Just because, well, let's be honest here, we're definitely going to need to if we do want to try anything interesting here. Putting that guy to exhaust mode, I think, might be a smart idea to start with. I think what we can do is definitely send Rabbid Luigi down here. And I'm going to say probably set in the exhaust now. I think it's probably a good thing to drop their damage before they do decide to start moving here. And then hopefully, in turn, well, we can knock out all of them. I think we're right out of the range of that zap barrel. So that's not too bad. Okay. I think that's pretty good from what I can see here. I definitely say we need to go Vamp Attack here. Because Rabbid Rosalina is, well, actually, there's an enemy behind me, too. Ew. Yikes. That's not good. That's definitely not what I like to see. Can't put him to sleep either. He's just out of range. Okay, well, because that is the case, it's probably better. Well, I was just going to go for this enemy, but if that guy's behind me, that's not good. That's, yeah, that's definitely not a good thing. But we can get a good chunk of enemies down there. Yeah, that is definitely not a good thing. Just from what I can see. I do see a way of definitely knocking out this guy. And then we may be okay with that, maybe? Because those enemies look like they're pretty far away, for the most part. If I do get bounced, maybe it would be better if I'm, like, here-ish. Because then the enemies don't see me too heavily, maybe. But hopefully the lifesteal will do me. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not bad at all. That's definitely workable. It definitely could be worse. But I do say, now that we have that down in points, and that was a critical on that guy, so he's down for sure. Although I did take a big heavy amount of damage there. But hopefully we're good here. Hopefully he doesn't go for the barrel. Thankfully he didn't. Although he did go out of bounds. But we're really low on HP now. But I am pretty sure that's was going to happen no matter what we did there, to be fair. Just because of the fact that, well, there was a lot of enemies packed up in a big, huge area there. And it's not like a Dark Messiah area where the enemies are less bunched up than they normally are. But that's a lot of enemies over there on that side of the map. And I'm quite glad that we're completely out of range of them, because I'm gonna be honest, they're very close to being very, very bad for targets for us. We can definitely go invisible, but I'm gonna say, well, these enemies are still out of range, so maybe that's not a problem here. I do think, well, we could put one to sleep. That is still an option. Although I do think for one of them, one of our people, we should probably make sure the top guys are down. And then after that, I think we're perfectly fine, for the most part. Because all we really need to do is just put you to sleep. And then obviously have you dash into him, he's down. Enemies are going to start pouring in from the other side. But other than that, we might be able to heal up in time before things really get sour, I think. So as long as we're careful, we should be pretty good, I think. Only thing is where do we hide for a turn? Just because, I'm gonna be honest, we're definitely gonna need to hide for a second. But I do think definitely going for a super mushroom bag is definitely gonna be something we should do. I think here's probably good, for Rabbid Rosalina at least. So you definitely start dropping this guy for sure, because I want him down for sure. And now, honestly, I think it's just up to Rabbid Luigi is probably going to play a very dangerous game here in a second. And honestly, I guess we'll see how this goes. But I'm definitely going to say let's definitely get Ethereal, because yeah, we need to be invisible for this, I think, in order for any of this to work. The good thing we have that, because, well, the enemies are running away, actually. Interesting. Okay. Well, if you want to run away, you definitely can. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. But I do think what we need to do here is maybe along the lines of pulling Rosalina over for a second, doing the sleep status effect, and then setting up Rabbid Luigi's exhaust status effect to double up on the just any kind of like bonus damage that we can possibly do. That's probably what we need to do. It's definitely iffy, but it could work. It definitely could work. Although, do we deal with the enemies that are nearer to the pipe or not? I think we should. I definitely think we should. Only thing is I'm definitely a little terrified of what's to come, for sure. Based on how close everything is. But I think as long as we do this right, we should be able to get a good chunk of enemies here. And that's not bad, that's definitely a pretty good hit. Doing something along the lines of that could be really good. I might go for that, actually. But first things first is we should definitely put them to sleep first. And then see from there what we could do. Because, let's be honest, the sleep status effect is definitely going to give us a little bit of a boost to whatever we can do here. And then, let's see. Not bad. Not bad at all. Although, I do think we should turbocharge first, before we do it. Since we should be able to get a really good hit in, as long as we do this right. Let's see here. Who do we start with, though? Because I think we could start with you. Although it does look like it didn't increase it to the point where it'd be really, really good. Okay, well, I think it auto-targets to the best one, I think. Because it bounces off that barrel in this way, while also hitting that other enemy back there. So it's not too bad at all. It was actually... I thought it did get rid of the squasher, though, before. But that's not bad. That's definitely pretty good. And then the barrel should definitely do a good chunk of damage to pretty much anything that's still around. Yeah, that's pretty good. Although I thought that would do a little bit more, to be fair. Okay. Well, those enemies are still down there. We haven't moved, really, so we're still good. we could definitely drop this on top of these guys and get rid of them, dropping a good chunk of whatever might come out and try and destroy us in a couple seconds. I'm going to say definitely, we're not in range. I was going to see if I could put him to sleep, because he's going to start running towards me here in a second. So I think just getting out of range of these guys for the current moment is our safest bet, because next turn is definitely going to be where we figure how this last part of this map goes, because they can't see me at the moment, so we're still safe. Although I do think they have, yep, they have range of me. Of course they do. I was thinking I was just out of range from right over there, to be completely fair. But it doesn't look like the enemies are pushing up too heavily. Well, they're pushing up a light bit, but it looks like they're gonna go in like small groups, which I feel a lot better about, to be fair. There's still quite a lot of them, though, and not enough cover for me to feel safe. But thankfully, we are still invisible with Rabbid Luigi, and if we weren't, yeah, it would definitely be a different question. But thankfully, it doesn't end till the end of our turn. So once that does end, it's more of a worrying situation. But since where we are at the current moment and what's going on, it's definitely a lot better than it could be. Although, now that we're no longer in that, yeah, it's definitely a different way. So we could do 790 damage. Ooh, wait a minute. We could do 790 damage, you say? I say it's probably power block time. Let's just drop one of those. And, well, we don't get rid of all of you in one, but we do definitely get a good chunk of you. Okay, not bad. Can I go for a massive disruptor here? No, I can't. Not from there, but that doesn't mean we can't. Completely. Okay, well, it's still leading to something. Although I think the best case scenario here would be to drop one of those blocks on top of them, to be completely fair and honest. So I think what we should do is have the Rabbid Luigi come up here and help out Rabbid Rosalina. Because I think as long as Rabbid Rosalina drops exactly what we need to drop on top of their heads, I think we win this. Because the thing is, yeah, it's definitely iffy, but, well, I guess we'll find out if this works here in a couple seconds, because, I'm very, sure this is probably what we're going to need to do to beat this, because there's so many enemies. But drop that on top of you, that's a good chunk of enemies, and that is that done. Jeez. That was a scary map. I'm gonna definitely be fair there. I think that was the scariest map I think we've ever ran into. And we got ourselves a Steampunk Kaboomer. Cool. I'll definitely take it. Pretty cool little weapon. Although we do have the gleaming Kaboomer, so I kind of like what we already have, but we'll take it. And doesn't look like we got a lore book that time. Usually we get lore books for doing those. Oh no, we did. Okay, I thought we weren't going to get one for a second. But there we go. Rabbid Rosalina. Analysis data, evidence. These allow AIs such as myself to look beyond the surface. Still, Rabbid Rosalina defies my expectations. She is lethargic, jaded, cynical, and perpetually annoyed. But woe to the bioform that gets between her and someone she loves, especially if that someone is Rosalina, her idol, born of the famous basement incidents. Rescued by Orion, she is now one of us. Well, true. She definitely is one of us. But, very interesting level, though, to be completely fair. I was very sure we were done for, to be completely honest, when it came to how many enemies were there. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen enemies pack up that much in that small of an area, to be fair. That was definitely something I was not ready for. But, very interesting, though. I definitely am surprised how that ended up going. But, first things first is let's get everything back to the way it was. Because honestly, for the most part, well, we don't have our sparks on everybody at the current moment. But now we have that situated. So I kind of need to swap Rosalina back to Edge. Just because I'm more used to walking around as Edge than I am as Rosalina. Just because, one, it just feels like it's easier to walk around with certain characters. And two, well, let's be honest here. We've been basically playing Edge as the main character this entire time, to be completely fair. But here we go. Off to the railroad. Good old Wiggler Express Railway. It looks like Sylvan's definitely ready.
At long last come, friends, we shall ride expressly to Mount Spout, as I am alarmingly behind schedule.
Yeah, I definitely would say, with the fact that you have the Dark Mist Tentacle in your way. Definitely for sure.
Sullivan, about the Dark Mist Tentacle in the tracks.
Yeah, what about it, Genie?
Work too dirty for the likes of thee, sweet Genie. Leave it to me and my train to lead the charge, and run it through.
I don't think running into it is gonna do much, but sure, you could try.
Simply lay thee mind to rest. When your friends desire to sojourn to Mount Spout, they will be under my favor and protection.
Well, okay, I'll trust you, Sullivan. I'll definitely trust you, but, is this really gonna work? I guess we'll find out.
I'm behindhand my schedule. Fear thee not, the bumpy road ahead. Mine axle boxes can slide to allow full sprung suspension against mine horn block.
Okay. I have no clue what you said there, but, sure.
Yes, that's great. But can we focus on the Dark Mist Tentacle on the tracks instead of your shock absorbers, please? The superior power of steam is at your behest. Shall we set forth mightily for the glory of Terra Flora?
I believe so. Let's head on out, Sullivan. Okay, here we go. Destroy the Dark Mess Eye, and it looks like we definitely have a very, very angry Wiggler. And it looks like, talking about Dark Mess Eyes, there's a Dark Mess Eye on his side there. Huh, that's interesting. Well, technically, I think this technically means the Wiggler is the boss, to be honest. Although, technically, you would think this would be a mid-boss, but that's interesting, though. 12 turns to defeat. Okay. So, we need to finish this in 12 turns. 16 Dark Mess Eyes. Although, how many Dark Mess Eyes are on map? Don't really see any. Other than the one on the Wiggler. Oh, there's a couple on him, actually. There's 3. So, 3 on Wiggler. Other than that, I'm not really seeing any other Dark Mess Eyes. Unless, more will spawn later? That's weird. Huh. That's very weird. Just because usually we see that kind of stuff, but this time around we don't see anything like that. Huh. Okay then. Well, I guess here we go. Let's see what happens. Well, the Wiggler's definitely breaking the terrain on the train, so we need to be very careful. So I think that's definitely why it said that we had a turn limit. So now we know for sure what's really going on here. Okay, so basically 12 turns before the train is destroyed is basically what it's trying to tell us. So, I guess we better get a move on then. Let's see. Enemy behind the box over there. It looks like everything stuff we dealt with before. That's an Oozer. Sea Stooges, Lone Wolves. Okay, so some long-range enemies we need to be very, very careful about. But Sea Stooges we know how to deal with. We just don't want them to dash into us. And these guys will definitely make it into that point there. Yep. They're definitely going to dash in if we let them. Other than that, it seems pretty simple. Okay. Well, first things first is definitely making a splash and hopefully getting a good chunk of damage into the Sea Stooges early, I think. So let's hopefully send in the Wild Claw and have him do what he does best. And hopefully he can get through that pipe. Well, he ended up going for the Oozer instead. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that'll keep the Sea Stooges off of us. I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna hope it does. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll find out. I think we can probably jump on top of this guy too with Bowser, if we get the chance to, which is not bad. And then I think what's going to end up happening here is I think we're going to end up sending Edge all the way to the other side of the map, I think. Because, well, we start dealing with those lone wolves early, as long as we're invisible. So as long as we play things safe, we can easily do a good chunk to the enemies, if we're careful. So I think that's probably what's going to end up happening, I think. As long as we do it right, of course, but I think definitely going through the pipe here is first case scenario. Because then we definitely get the good old vamp dashes into these guys before they start wrecking any kind of real havoc. Because they will definitely do some havoc if we let them. Okay, well it looks like we definitely need to... I'm curious. Technically, I think that if we go back through here... Nope, we can't. Okay. I was just wanting to make sure. I wasn't too sure on that one. But definitely dash into you. And hopefully get rid of... Yep, okay, cool. We got rid of both of those guys. I feel pretty good about that. And now we just start preparing for the lone wolves, I think. Because for the most part, the Oozer I'm fine with. I don't mind him too much. I'm more worried about Mr. Lone Wolf here. And we'll definitely go in Ethereal before we decide to worry about that. Because for the most part, we're pretty good when it comes to that side. But other than that, what do we really want to do here? Because we have free movement for a couple characters here. So, what we can do is either we can try and go for the Dark Messiahs, which I think is probably a good idea. Only thing is how much HP do you have left? 1,300... Okay, well, Bowser's probably going to have to move then. Because, I'm going to be honest, under normal circumstances, Bowser's not doing that kind of damage in that quick of amount of time. I'm surprised Rosalina ends up doing more damage than Bowser, to be fair. But, well, let's be honest here. He's definitely does things the way he does them, but for the most part, he's definitely not going to hit multiple times in a short succession. But we can go for that Dark Messiah for both of those, so that's not too bad. And other than that, are we in range of Lone Wolf? I don't think we are. He could be. I'm very curious about that, honestly. It looks like we are out of his range. Okay. So we're perfectly fine with Rosalina here, it looks like. So as long as we play things safe, we're good. Okay. So obviously just blast this guy in the next entry then. Because I am not letting myself get used by him. Because letting him do what he wants to do is probably not the smartest idea. I think probably moving like here might be a good idea, actually, with Edge. Because being through the pipe gives us the extra movement. Since when you go through a pipe, you lose movement. So, probably being over there is probably a good idea. Okay, now he's preparing for any kind of movements. But other than that, we're pretty good here. Although I still don't see any more Dark Messiahs. There's just one on Wiggler. But other than that, yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I'm guessing maybe getting rid of the Dark Messiah will spawn more? That's kind of what I'm thinking. But I'm not too sure about that one. But we'll move over a little bit before we start worrying about that. Because all we really need to do right now is make sure this guy is not evil sighting everybody. Because Villain Sight will definitely start taking hold if we let it stay. So, might as well make sure we're not worrying about it. And then, let's see here. We can either go for him or we can go for a free hit on the eye, maybe. Probably better if we go for the free hit, honestly. Because then we secure that. But I do think maybe going for the Lone Wolf might be smarter. Because less enemies on map for later may actually do us some good. And then if he decides to move, we can go for a Stormblade too. So, probably a good idea. Not too bad. Pretty good turn. But that's Edge's turn. Now we have free movement across the rest of the board here. Now we just need to figure out where we want to go and what we want to do with it. Can't really go for the Oozer from this range, but I might be able to at the same time. So, Bowser, I think what we're going to do with you first, well, actually, gotta kind of worry about the... Actually, the Lone Wolf shouldn't be able to see me from here. Yeah, he can't, so we're still good. I just want to make sure that we're pointing the right direction when we do it, because Rabbid Mecha Koopas are definitely going to need some extra movement here if we want it to do what it wants to do best. And that does actually activate the villain sight. Okay, cool. I was thinking it would, but I was more worried about, you know, sending these over towards the Oozer over here, to be completely fair. But that is good to know, for sure, for later. But we'll send Bowser back, I think. Rosalina is going to keep her movement, I think. And I think we definitely go with Bowser here. Don't go for that. I don't know why in any world anyone would want to blast that electric barrel. I don't know why that's the first target. But there we go. Eye down. No more eyes on map. Okay. Still nothing. That's weird. Okay. Well, so far, no understanding on that yet. But I guess we'll find out soon. But now that we're over here, we can see how much damage we do to you. We almost knock you out. It's probably best if we do something along the lines of putting you to sleep. Yeah, probably going to be best to do Enwy here. Because Enwy's going to, you know, give us the sleep, plus we get the extra damage when the enemy is asleep. So, it might do exactly. It's almost enough. So we'll go for it. See how much we do. It's not too bad, although it's not as much damage as I thought it would do. Since it was a 50%, but at least we did something. It's trying to go for me, though. Well, it blocked me from trying to, I think, attack? I think that is. But still, no more Dark Mess Eyes. Oh, now they're spawning, so get rid of them, more will spawn on the Wiggler. Got it. Okay. So we need to do this quickly, then, is exactly what it's trying to tell us. It's blocking our weapon, though, from what it just did, so we definitely need to be careful with those enemies. So now we know for sure it bounced what's really going on there. But for the most part, I could go Vamp Dash into him. Is that really worth it, though? We don't really get into range of that guy. But the thing is once we go through that pipe anyways, we're going to lose extra movement anyways. So, probably under normal circumstances, making sure Lone Wolf is down. Well, we do have the jump panel behind us, so maybe we can use that to our benefit. So, I don't think we lose full movement. Although, it's still a decent amount of movement we do lose under normal ideas. But not too bad. That's pretty good. Still out of range of the Dark Mess Eye. But the thing is I think Bowser and Rosalina can help out there. So, probably going to be best to help edge out a little bit, just so we can get everybody back into the same range of motion. Just because that motion is definitely important. To get any kind of like extra movement for any character will definitely help us. And I think I might, yep, I can get 2 of them here, so we definitely go for that. Gotta love the idea of being able to hit multiple targets. Gotta love that, because if we didn't have it, we definitely don't get as much freebies there. Bowser might be able to get those, but the thing is it definitely is based off of how this actually goes here. So Rosalina can go to that position there. So if we move a little bit back with Rosalina, go to about where Bowser is now, I think we could definitely make use of this. As long as we make like a decent range here, not bad. Could be worse. If we go back in this pipe here, and then come back out, do we refresh that? Nope. I was wondering if it would. So we could have just went through the pipe and got better range, but it was still worth a check, for sure. But for the most part, Bowser's, I think, almost in range of that. Yeah, he is, almost. Only thing is I don't know what's coming out of that portal. Although it is just a purple portal, and not just like multiples. Okay. Oh, maybe we can do something like that. Okay, we could try it. See what happens. I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. It's definitely not a smart idea, but I do kind of want to see what ends up happening here. So, Bowser, have a nice fun time here, buddy, because I'm going to be honest here. We're definitely trying something probably stupid, but I guess we're going to find out how this goes. Because you can definitely get in range of that. I'm going to say definitely set up Regenesis right away, though. Because if enemies do decide to spawn in droves, at least Bowser's able to get back up and continue moving without too much of a problem. And also, we can still vault right over here, and obviously still go for the blast. So Bowser's quite far away from any kind of allies, but we did get a good chunk of those Dark Mess Eyes off the map. So, not too bad, although I am a little worried, just because we don't know what's going to happen here. But, I guess we'll find out what kind of enemies are spawning. Sea Stooges. Okay, that's not too bad. And we did get hits, so it's not going to be good. Could be worse, though. It definitely could be. Although we are getting splashed and oozed at the moment, so Bowser's not having the funnest time. But it isn't that many enemies, and not all of them hit us. So it wasn't that bad, actually. And we still have quite a few allies over on that side of the map. And plus, we do have the Wild Claw doing its thing. So it's not too terribly bad. Could be much worse. It definitely could be much worse. We could go turbocharge. I could go for a big blast with the Bowser Bowzooka here. But, that's definitely an option, actually. I don't mind that, actually. Although I do think, before we do that, maybe send in the Rabbid Mecha Koopas from a little bit further range, and then, hopefully don't get splashed around by the barrel, because we should be out of range of that. But I think, okay, we were barely out of range. That could have been very, very bad. But, not too bad. Could have been worse. It definitely could have been worse. If we stand here, we're going to get hit by that barrel, for sure. Other than that, dash into you, push you off the map a little bit. And then, honestly, for that current movement, I don't think we can help Bowser. But we definitely can do a decent amount to at least, help him out a decent amount. And I think Move Boost out of here is probably our safest option. Just get completely out of that zone. Because at the moment, Bowser's not having the funnest time over there by himself. But, honestly, not bad. That was actually a pretty good turn there. Although it could have been, really, really bad, really, really fast, if we weren't super, super careful, but it ended up working out pretty well, honestly. We got over here safe and sound without much of a problem. And, well, we dealt with those eyeballs before they really started going crazy, so not bad. Definitely not bad. Only thing is how do we do this next group here? Because it looks like I could maybe set up a line from back here if we do it right. And then, honestly, Rosalina probably could... Well, we don't have a POW block, so we can't do that. But we could definitely start something. I'm going to say maybe along the lines of team jumping onto this side, maybe, and seeing what kind of, extra stuff we can do from here. Because I think if Rosalina starts dealing with the 3, ones by themselves over here, I think we could probably start slowly whittling down the eyes on the further half of the Wiggler. Because it looks like the Wiggler only moves when we destroy the eyes, for the most part. So as long as we do things right, and slowly but surely whittle them down, we'll easily be able to, work with them and kind of figure out how we really want to, clear these up. Because that's 2 of them right there, like I thought. Not bad. Definitely not bad. We're getting some good progress there. We have 5 more left, so all the ones that are still on, the Wiggler right now are the last ones that we need to deal with. And not many enemies are spawning in a, crazy amount right now. Most of the enemies are the ones that we just dealt with Bowser. And they're actually... Huh, that's interesting. They can stop the, giant Wild Claw from attacking. That's interesting. I didn't think they would be able to do that, but they can. Huh. Okay then. Interesting. Very, very interesting. He is okay, so he is moving now. So they're not going to be staying in one place like they were before. So we definitely need to stick with the Wiggler right now and make sure we get the perfect aims here for our blast that we need. But it looks like we can definitely get the last ones on his backside there. So down goes 3 more of the eyes. And then I think all we need to do now is just get the last 2, and I think we are done here. I don't think, I think the win condition's right here. Because all we need to do, obviously just Flying Blade the last one, and down goes the Wiggler, and down goes the Dark Mess eyes. Not bad, not bad. And battle cleared. Definitely an interesting Dark Mess tentacle mission. And technically, that was technically a boss fight with a Wiggler, which is pretty cool, honestly. But, honestly, not a bad experience. Very surprised Bowser got away with what he just did, to be honest. That Regenesis Spark definitely saved him big time. But, it ended up working out pretty well, surprisingly. I don't know how, but it did work very, very well indeed. And just like that, down goes the Wiggler. And, well, we finally made it to the next stop. And it seems like we're definitely on track to, well, making our way to Mount Spout now.
Dearest Genie, honey sweet, for whom I die for love, 'tis fate decree that our time together end here.
Okay then, Sullivan. But there's Mount Spout there, so we're getting closer. We're definitely in range now.
For whilst you journey to Mount Spout, I must remain here to nurse my beloved Steamy to good repair.
Yeah, that Wiggler didn't give it too much of a good, it definitely took a good beating from that Wiggler, to be fair. Although it only got hit a couple times. It could have been much worse. But, yeah, it definitely did not have a good time there.
Right. Well, thank you for it.
Hide thy tears, Sheedy. Go to Mount Spout, before I forsake my oath to that mighty giant of antiquated transport steam.
Okay, then. We'll see you later, Sullivan. And that is a level for next level. Also a little bit more HP and damage. Always good to see. But level 24 is always good to see. But Uncork the Volcano is our next mission. So, definitely, well, let's be honest here, we're definitely preparing for the final area here. Also apparently, that's interesting. I was expecting, him to have a Spark mission, but apparently he does one. Sullivan's Despair. Interesting. Red Coin Challenge over there. I'm surprised I didn't notice that before, but I'm pretty sure now we can get there, because I think there was, it looks like there might be a ladder right around here on the other side. But other than that, anything hiding inside the Everbloom tree now? Nope, no new missions opened up in there. But it was good to check. And it looks like something opened up inside the volcano, obviously. But other than that, only one real mission opened up other than the Spark mission, and that was the Red Coin Challenge. Huh, okay then. Well, because, honestly, we're right next to it. You know what? We might as well do it. So a Spark mission. Interesting. Okay. Let's see what's going on here.
How to nurse her to health?
Good question there, Sullivan. Very good question. Also, it looks like you're still kind of blocked off for the most part.
In the deepest depths of woe I strike at my breast, yet I am powerless to move my train to the repair station.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot for you. Ooh, hello. That's another, like the Wild Claw one, but this time it's an Oozer. Okay, cool. So we can get some poison damage in. And they have a little bit more HP than a Wild Claw, so that might be pretty good to have. Engine trouble. Can I help? Please, I love trains. Yeah, you can definitely help, buddy.
You are brave, good sir, yet even with your powers we cannot move my beloved train on yonder tract so full of wild thorn.
So we need to get rid of those thorns somehow, but the thing is how do we do that, though? Because I don't really see any way of doing that.
Allow us to help then. We'll visit each thorn at its source and remove them one by one. It's the least we can do.
True. It is very much the least we could do.
Then I prepare for our journey by water tending to my steam engine. Proceed up this ladder to find the first thorn.
Okay, I guess it's time to go and find these thorns then. But water tending, that's an interesting word. Okay. Well, we'll definitely go and find these thorns, buddy. But you said to go up the ladder, so off we go then. Honestly, I'm kind of curious on how to really go about doing this, though, to be completely fair. Just because, are we just going to pull them out, or is there a little bit more to it than what we can currently see? Because there's definitely quite some options for sure. But so far, this is just leading over here, which is a little bit of a slide down. For the most part, this doesn't really lead anywhere, to be fair. Also, it kind of locks you in, actually, kind of. Unless there's a bridge of some sort. Yep, there is a bridge. Okay, I was about to say. I was a little worried there for a second. But there we go, okay. So that makes a little bit more sense why it felt like I got stuck there for a second. But, okay, so far, it looks like just a couple of these little bridges. You have this scanner over here. Okay, well that opens up that. Back and forth. Looks like we probably need that at least one. Does it move the one that's over here, too? It does, okay. Interesting. Very interesting, okay. Well, the one guy's right over here, so I guess we're just following our little buddy, for the most part. So, hello there, Ooze Master. That thorn won't get out of the way. Too bad we can't just run it over. Well, it looks like we just need to scan it a couple times with our little ability. Not bad. Okay, one in. Now we just gotta get two of them, so basically all we really need to do is scan them in. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. So we need to just follow our little buddy, Ooze Master, to each one, and then go from there. Okay, that seems pretty simple. It definitely seems simple, but doesn't mean it's gonna be easy, but definitely seems simple. There's a orange thing up there, and also another thorn is next to us, actually. It's right here. Okay. Well, how do we get up there? That is the first thing to figure out, I think. But so far, it looks like something to do with maybe this cannon, maybe. Yep, definitely the cannon. Goomba with the pot on his head up here. But, it looks like he's kind of preoccupied on that side. So as long as we leave him alone, he won't, mess with us. But it looks like all we really need to do is just head back to where we open this little guy up, open up the bridge, and then, obviously, slide on over. And get back to good old Ooze Master again. Hey, buddy. Long time no see. A second thorn? They have no respect for public transportation. I guess not, buddy. But it's open. Oh, okay. For a second, I was like, wait, why is it not going? It wasn't close enough. But there we go. Another thorn down. Wiggler train getting a little bit more distance. And it looks like just one more to go. But so far, so good. Sullivan's Despair removed one more Dark Mess Thorn. Or it could be more. You never know. There could be a mission, like a Dark Mess thing afterwards. Because let's be honest here, we have ran into, like, Dark Mess, related, like, puzzles outside of all this stuff. Let's see here. Where was the... Okay, I think maybe what we need to do is maybe scan this once. Because I think it was like that before heading over there, so just in case we can maybe... Well, actually, we can't go up this. Wait a minute. I don't know why I went through the pipe. I was like, let's go through the pipe. Nope. That's definitely not working that way. Let's take this little orange circle over here, and then figure out where to go from here. Looks like maybe going over the branch path that we made for ourselves is our option. Although we can't go up there. Okay. So far, doesn't look like we can really do much with this yet. Unless I missed a branch we could have opened up. Which could be the case. Let me double check on that, because I felt like I didn't see anything along the lines of that, but doesn't mean that there isn't. So let's open that real quick, just in case, because you never know. And then we'll go from there. Unless maybe we want to make our way over there, because there is a cannon over here. Let's see. There is a Goomba hiding back here. There's a cannon that takes us back there. That's where we came from, I'm pretty sure, though. So definitely not that way. There was a, drop down up here. So basically all we really need to do is figure out where to put this orange circle. Don't really see one, though. Interesting. Wonder where this is going to go. Because it doesn't go in the cannon specifically. It goes into its own, like, little pocket somewhere. And there it is. It was just right next to it. But there we go. Perfect. It looks like we got a bee in our little wrestling ring. Let's see what's going on here.
The warden here, Bee, promotes her modern lifestyle branding using her highly exaggerated claims as to the benefits. Such as winning all Galaxy Wrestling's Clash of the Cosmos Battle Royale, thanks to her detoxifying honey scrub skin toner.
Okay. Interesting. But that's not the first time we've seen something to do with wrestling with her. But there we go. Okay, so now that that's done, it looks like we do need to go back and press that thing now. So I think we definitely head back any way we can. I think it's probably faster if we go this way, maybe. Could be wrong, but at least we tried. Although, nope, can't go that way because that way's blocked. So we need to head back the way we came. And it looks like we do need to go through the cannon. And then other than that, it looks like we're pretty much done with this puzzle. For this part, if there is, any kind of, like, dark mess puddle afterwards, then maybe we have a little bit left. But so far, this one doesn't seem too bad for a Spark Hunt mission, just because usually they're quite, like, decently long. And this one seems to be quite short so far, from what we can see so far, of course, but it definitely is interesting from what we've seen so far. But let's make our way over here, get on top of our nice little ladder. I'm surprised they didn't make us pull down the ladder, to be fair. Knowing this game and having us, like, take down shortcuts and stuff, I'm surprised they didn't make us put that down, because we could have came all the way over here, and that could have happened. Also, there was a scanny here. Oof. Wish I knew that one. Looks like we definitely come from this side. What does this want us to scan? Okay, go left. Yeah, go left indeed. Oh, over here. That's what you mean. There's a secret bridge there. Okay, hey, Ooze Master. One more thorn to go, then we can ride the rails carrying everything we own on our backs. Okay, well, let's definitely get that done. And fix up the train once and for all. Because, like we promised, it would help out with the Wiggler Express as much as we possibly can. And get that moving is, definitely a good thing. Because that's a big part of their industry here. Although it does look like there might be some kind of dark mess taking over that last little bit there. Dark mess puddle on the tracks. If this were a spaceship, we'd fly over it. Just saying. True. Definitely true there, BeepO. But Sullivan's despair, only one place to go now. Through the cannon, and make our way on over there. But honestly, we definitely got a decent amount here. And honestly, one little mission's definitely not going to hurt us. Oh, there's a dark mess puddle threatening the train. Okay, well, let's get on into it. After the length of the Dryad mission and Sweet Lopex mission in the previous world for the Spark Hunt, honestly, this is pretty, like a quick and easy one. For sure. And honestly, pretty interesting with the fact of, like, using our, like, special powers to, like, kind of, like, weaken the vines and the thorns. Instead of growing them, we're kind of breaking them. It's kind of interesting. But reach area, okay. Lots and lots of bomb-bombs and lots of bombs and electric stuff and fire barrels and magnafowls. Yeah, it looks kind of terrifying. I'm gonna be honest. First things first, let's press the button. It's been a while since we did a press the button thing. But there we go. Press it down. And it looks like we want to go over there. Okay. Do we need to, though? It looks like we need to because we can't make that jump. Because we can go about half the height of that, but we need to press that button, though, if we want to go any further. Okay, so good to know. I just wanted to make sure, because it's better to scope it now and be sure of everything before, you know, making a major movement like that. So definitely send in the turbocharge, though. Definitely set that up before we do that. Because what we definitely... Ooh, I got it reset. That's perfect. That's really, really good. How do we want to do this? Okay, I see some options. I see a lot of options. Magnafowl is something we need to be careful about. We could probably blow him sky high. What is he weak to, by the way? We actually don't know. He's weak to ooze. Okay. Well, he's weak to ooze. We have some very scary sea stooges above us. Not sure how I feel about that. But other than that... There's a button on both sides of the map, actually, I'm noticing. One over there, and then one over here. So we obviously have to press the right one first, and maybe have to press the left one. If we don't do it right. Okay. Interesting. So, I think I have an idea. Rabbid Rosalina. I'm going to see what kind of movement you can give me. Looks like you need to be a little bit closer, though. Just about, like, there-ish. Okay, so what do you give me in movement? Is if I can make it to the pipe, we can kind of work with that. We can definitely probably work with that. So off we go. Don't know how this is going to go, but we'll find out here very shortly. Hopefully, okay, we can make it into the pipe normally. And I can still deal with the bomb-bomb. So let's press down the button. I just want to make sure we could get that second button pressed down. And it did give us some extra options here. Okay. Interesting. We have another side of the battlefield that we can go to now. Although that did not open up anything when it comes to making it to that reach area, though. All it did was open up the last button, which definitely seems easier to get to than it currently does at the moment to me. But, we could definitely try. We could definitely try. I do say, grabbing this bomb-bomb and tossing it over here like that, and running for our lives is probably the smartest option. Because there's a lot of enemies, and I'm going to get out of their range for a second before those blow up completely. But, wow, okay. That was a minefield and a half, I will definitely say. But, for the most part, not bad. Definitely ended up going out a lot easier than I thought it would, to be fair. definitely was a way different experience than I was expecting. I'm saying put this guy to sleep, because we have the option to. So Enwy, for you, you go to sleep for a turn before you think about going at me. So I'll take that, actually, to be completely fair. And I say blast this guy completely sky high. So here's some Rainbow Cheerios for you, buddy. Please, oh, he's still up. He's still up and walking. I was kind of hoping he would go down. But sadly, he's still going. Okay, well, we could work with that. We could definitely still work with that. I'm going to say probably dashing you out is a start. Other than that, honestly, we could do something along the lines of that. That's not too bad, honestly. So here's a flying blade for you. I don't think we need to be invisible. But I do think, well, that brought you way too close. That is way too close. Let's go ethereal, I think. I think that's probably a good idea. I'm gonna be honest there. I do not like you being that close to me. So being invisible there is probably a good idea. Okay, not bad, not bad. We can blow you sky high, so that's a first for sure. So no more Mr. Sea Stooge, because he's definitely gonna play some games if we let him stay. Other than that, I don't think we really need to worry about our current movement, Because we could technically spawn in the Rabbid Mecha Koopas, I guess. Just in case, so they're on the field. Then whatever happens, happens, I guess. Just because, for the most part, honestly, I think the Bomb-Omb might walk up to those. So it might maybe get the Bomb-Omb's attention, and maybe that's a good thing. I guess we'll find out here. Although I do see a jump panel up there, I'm wondering how they're wanting us to use that. Just because of the fact that, well, yep, it blew it up on impact, so that ended up working out pretty well. But there we go. Enemies are starting to spawn from a decent amount of portals around us now. Ugh, okay, that's a little yikes. That's a yikes and a half, I will say that one. And also, apparently these Rabbid Mecha Koopas were just out of range for most of those. Jeez, they were close, but just out of range. Okay, well we can do a dash into you. Probably worth it. Okay, 1 down, 2 down. Not enough to knock you out, but a decent amount to get a little bit of movement off of you. Okay, not bad. We can work with that. And then all we need to do, really, is get Edge over to the other side of the map. So what's the best way of doing this? Looks like we can definitely get to about where Edge is, for the most part, with Rabbid Rosalina. So about where Edge is standing right now seems to be like the best possible like movement we can probably make, to be completely fair. So, Rabbid Rosalina, thanks for the jump. I'm gonna try and do what we can do with this. Not sure how good it's gonna be, but it's an option. It definitely is an option. I'm gonna say probably getting rid of that fire barrel might be a good idea. I'm not too sure about it though. Can do something along the lines of that too, to be fair. Does that have the same amount of damage? It looks like it's different. Interesting. Well, I think just blasting this might be smarter then. Not sure if doing like small damage like that is really worth it, just to be completely frank, but honestly, there's nothing I can really say about it, because it really is kind of up to what the game wants to do with those portals. If they want to spawn something scary, if they don't, it's really up to the game. Well, it looks like the Wild Claws are preparing for stuff, but for the most part, looks like our best case scenario here, well, getting rid of this portal behind me kind of seems like a good idea, to be fair. Bowser could probably blast in the portal on the left side, maybe. Doesn't look like we can get a good angle on it though. It really depends on what kind of angle we get, but for the most part, we could probably do along the lines of this. Does this do damage to that? I'm not too sure, but whatever decides to spawn out of there, they're not going to have a fun time. I'm definitely going to say that one. Let's just drop all those on top of that. And we could go for Genesis just in case, but I'm going to get rid of the portal next to Edge, I think, because then only 2 of those portals are going to be like a problem, I think, later. So we're Genesis for Bowser, and then just see what we can do from there. We got a Spark Energy back, so we got 1 more activity point that we can use. Other than that, anything else you want to do, Bowser? I don't really think there's much. You can reset your cooldowns. That's an option. You know what? Do it. Might as well do it. Just see what we can do with that later on the next turn. And then honestly from here, I definitely say getting rid of the portal behind me is a good idea. Because you never really know what's going to come out of these until they spawn on top of you. So it's like, it's better to be more prepared than caught off guard. It really is. But I guess we'll see what happens, because now it's time for enemy turn. So we got the Sea Stooge waking up again. He doesn't look like he's in range, which is good. Looks like Bomb-Ombs. Okay. Is that what's going to be spawning out of these? Well, we blew up the portal. That works. That definitely works. But it's a Magnifowl. Okay. Interesting. So they're not all Bomb-Ombs, like I was thinking for a second, because once I saw a couple come out of that portal, I was thinking, ooh, no, I do not like being next to you. No, please. Ow. Well, that wasn't too bad. But you did get my Wild Claw to punch you, so maybe that was a good thing. Because now I'm going to get 2 hits on that magnified by him doing that. So maybe that's a good thing. I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll definitely find out here. But let's see here. I think first things first is more than likely vamp dashing with Edge here, just to figure out, one, how much we can do to this guy in a short amount of time. Not too bad. Okay. Well, he's got a decent amount of damage taken onto him now. We press our button, and then we see what we do from there. Okay, so it's spawning in another ramp or two. But for the most part, it looks like we can escape now. Freely. The only thing is do we escape is on this turn? Because I feel like we probably could, but it really depends on our movement here. But I do see a knockout on you. We could probably leave Mr. Bomb alone. But it looks like we should be able to maybe make it out of here, as long as we do this right. Move over to where Rosalina is, get a nice team jump off of her, get a decent movement about where Bowser is, so obviously we could bring everybody a little bit closer. But honestly, not bad. Pretty good. And then we'll use Edge to give Bowser the final movement that we need. But I think right about there, yep, perfect. I just want to make sure we're perfectly ready to make like a good jump here. And actually, as long as apparently Edge can make it to the little jump panels, perfect. And now all we got to do is just bounce away and bounce away until we're in the reach area right next to the Wiggler train. And just like that, mission cleared. Not bad. Not bad at all. And honestly, pretty simple. But pretty cool, though, too. I like the ring of fire that was around the middle area. I wasn't expecting to see that much of an explosion, but it did. It ended up pretty much, like, decimating everything, which was pretty cool. But, battle cleared, and, honestly, pretty interesting level. I'll definitely say that one. Just like that, Sullivan's despair is definitely no longer despairing, that's for sure. And that Wiggler train looks a lot better than it did before. Not bad, not bad.
Boundless thanks for your kindness, good friends, for it is only by your boundless spirit that my train shall be whole again.
No problem there, Sullivan. Thanks also for clearing the tracks. It's always been a dream of mine to ride the rails. With that train grounded, though, maybe I can keep chugging along with you guys. That would definitely be nice.
Farewell to you all, then, and should thou ever thirst for conveyance, the Wiggler Express endures at your service.
We'll definitely see you again, Sullivan. But, just like that, Sullivan's despair is now complete. And we also got Oozer Master, too. I'm quite curious what kind of stats it's going to have. Because the thing is the other one for the Wild Claw is pretty good. So it's 1,050 HP, and ours is 2,000 for that one. So although it's a little bit less than HP, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. It can silence and disarm enemies, that could be pretty good. 4 turns to spawn, obviously. Could be kind of like a make or break, but for the most part, it doesn't seem too bad. So we'll definitely take a look at that. I'll see, I'll level him up and see what he has for us, but I definitely say he might be pretty good for us in the near future. And then we do have 2 little books here. So Sullivan, eloquent, proficient, and passionate. Sullivan is the chief train engineer of Terraflora, but for him, it is no mere job. He is a lover of all things mechanical, and has a strong attachment to his beloved steam train, which he cares for with a tender hand. After his train, there is his timetable. He takes pride not just in being punctual, but in being someone the Rabbids of Terraflora can count on. That sounds pretty cool. In a different appreciation, Sullivan the train engineer on Terraflora took an interest in me, and not just for my link to the hero's spaceship. He was courteous, but he also made me feel, I felt appreciated, but in a different way than when BeepO or a hero expresses gratitude. I felt something else as well, too new, for me to process, let alone articulate, only that I found it quite pleasant. I think you found love. which is kind of not a thing the AI normally like runs into, but it definitely seems Genie definitely has the capability of doing it when it comes to like understanding the like concept of love, because that's not a concept that many AIs, a robot normally can't, figure out love. So that's actually quite interesting that Genie is actually capable of learning that. But with that being said, I think today's episode is definitely coming to an end. And honestly, quite an interesting, adventure. And the Wiggler Express ended up being pretty cool. And, the boss fight technically with the Wiggler was pretty cool as well. So, with that being said, in the next episode we will be beginning the trek to uncorking the volcano. And, well, finally bringing rain back to the world of Terra Flora. How is it going to go? Honestly, who knows? Could we run into the Spark Hunter that we still have yet to meet? Maybe. And honestly, anything is possibly capable of happening once we do make our way into the water volcano that is Mount Spouts. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep being spooky. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.